Hi, I'm Susan Larkin. I live in New Haven, Connecticut. New Haven is in Southern Connecticut. We are about an hour and a half from New York, and it is the home of Yale University, which is the biggest employer in the area, which is where I work. I work for the School of Medicine. My story, I was thinking about this last night. I was thinking my story is so boring, but then I was thinking, oh, my story is the same story or similar story, but with different families and in slightly different ingredients to so many stories now that I know, and so many people now I know, from Australia to Austria to Florida to the West Coast, the Midwest, and all of us have the same common denominator, which is alcohol. And that is what I'm really passionate about raising awareness, is that alcohol is addictive to humans. That is, I mean, when I learned that in This Naked Mind, that it's not my fault, that was huge for me. That was a huge shame buster for me. That helped me really break out of that cycle of shame and blame that I was in, that was keeping me from being successful in my quest to stop drinking. So I love This Naked Mind. I love the methodologies. I am a new coach. I was just in the March 2021 coaching class, and I'm really excited to be a part of this movement, really. So my story, my boring story. I won't tell you my whole life story, but I'll just go back to 2009. In 2009, I was promoted to a management position. And at the time prior to that, I was working 2 part-time jobs at Yale, and 2 part-time jobs never really equal 1 full-time job. They're always a little more than that. But I was recognized by some upper management, and I was offered this position. And I think I had a lot of, nervousness, and it was a really tough position at Yale. We have a union. The clerical and technical employees are union employees. And so I was thrust into this position, managing union employees. It was very stressful. I was also at the same time getting my MBA. So I don't know. I mean, sometimes I look back and go, what was I thinking? So my children were in elementary school and high school at the time. I'm getting my MBA. I'm starting a new job that's very stressful, where I'm actually having to discipline employees to the point of trying to fire them, really. I mean, some of them were just not performing, and it was very stressful. So wine became the duct tape that really held my life together. I thought wine made me more creative. When I did my papers for my MBA, I thought it just became the go-to when I got home from work. I became like, my husband did more of the childcare in the afternoons, and I, got up in the morning and had my coffee and came home at night and had my wine, and that was my routine. But early on, I knew early on that I was drinking too much. I mean, I knew what the limits are. And so I had cognitive dissonance really right away. And so I struggled with it the whole time. Alcohol has made me miserable for so many years, and I can't believe it took me this long to really eliminate it from my life and really gain the empowerment that has brought my life. I mean, so I quit in 2014 for 8 months. And then I went back to moderating. And in 2015, my husband had this idea, this dream of owning a music studio. So we bought this music studio. So then again, here I am, 2015, working full time and then going to the music studio at night. And literally my schedule was 7:30 in the morning. I would leave for work. Then I would go to the music studio. We would get home. We would leave the music studio at like 8:30 or 9, go to a restaurant, get like appetizers and like 2 of the largest glasses of wine I could possibly drink, and then come home. I mean, that became our routine. And there was just a lot of feelings, a lot of emotion around the music studio, most of them not positive. And I just started, my drinking escalated again in 2015. So I started in 2019, May of 2019, I did another program where I quit drinking for 21 days. And after the end of that program, many of the people in the program were like, oh, I'm going to go 60 days. I'm going to go 90 days. And I was like, I'm going on vacation. How am I going to not go on vacation and not drink? Ooh, so that started the year of hell of moderation. So I did moderate quite well on that vacation, but alcohol was still in my life. So I started this year, 2019 to early 2020, of the year of 30 days off, then having a couple of occasions of drinking, then maybe over drinking, not even over drinking. Sometimes I would just beat the crap out of myself every time I would drink. So I just kept that cycle going and I learned a lot. I did tons of podcasts, that was my year of data points, I guess, now that we know that that's the language, and, or that I know that that's the term. So that was my year of really exploring and trying it out and trying to moderate and seeing, but I was miserable, so miserable. And then COVID hit, March 2020. By the end of March, beginning of April, when we were at home, I was back to using alcohol as a coping mechanism for my stress, knowing full well that it was not a good idea, but I just didn't care at that point. I was like, it was very stressful trying to put our medical school curriculum online, if you can imagine, and working from home and just all that. Plus, we ended up closing the music studio. It was just going to lose way too much money with COVID, and it was already losing money. So we ended up closing the music studio, and like that whole in like April and May, my husband, we were being sued by, it was just a whole scene. And I was just like, keep pouring, just keep pouring. And I remember I woke up and one morning in May, and I just, I had been saying, oh, who cares? I remember just saying, oh my God, I don't feel good. My anxiety and depression was just off the charts again. And I woke up and I was like, oh, who cares? And then I just went, I care. I don't want to do this anymore. And I had seen Annie's webinar about the path. And when she described becoming alive, I was like, that is what I want. I want to become alive. I don't want to just stop drinking. I already tried that. I want that. And I started the path in June 2020. And and on June 10th, what did we do? We went on vacation. And I was just like, oh my gosh, okay, here we are again. This was my nemesis last time. And but the approaches, this naked mind approaches that were so different. I remember just going on, we went on this vacation. I was standing on the deck going, wait, I'm going to stand on this. I'm on this deck overlooking this beautiful lake, and I'm not going to drink. And I was just like, oh, like quivering with, I don't know, an urge and anger, and mad at my husband because he was over there drinking a beer. And I remember going for a walk and listening to one of Annie's podcasts, and it was the one about, getting curious and maybe, maybe it will suck, maybe it won't, just lose the, drop the expectations. And I did that. I just got curious. And it was and then all that just fell away. And it was like, oh, I just concentrated on the moment, and all the moments were fabulous. It was the best vacation ever. We laughed so hard. Oh my gosh. I had a great time with my kids, and that really helped. That really gave my alcohol, gave the path like a shot in the arm for the rest of the time, for my time on the path. So I did the entire year on the path. I was one of the original trailblazers that we were like, we don't want to leave yet. And I just can't say enough about the curriculum. I think it's the grace first approach. The no shame, no blame. It's not your fault. Like I said, that was huge for me, like just to let go of that and just work on building a life that I want to wake up to. And that was my goal. That was my goal. And was it easy? No, it was hard. And the live content really, really set me off into a new direction. I mean, the stuff about managing your mind and learning about your thoughts was just uh, game changer for me, even in every area of my life. So none of the circumstances of my life have changed. I still have the same job, still have the same husband, still have the same kids, still have the same house, same life, but I love it. I'm like a completely different person. I mean, it completely changed my life, not just not drinking. It's just changed the way I do life entirely. And I contribute it all to the This Naked Mind methodologies. So I can't say enough about it. And I just want to sing it from the rooftops. And that's why I became a coach, because I want to help other people reach this freedom, this true freedom and true empowerment. And it's amazing that alcohol is the thing that can really hold us back from that. So that's my story.